Point Fighter Live. I'm Alex Reyes. We're going to have another great show. And happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Thanks to all the veterans as well. I hope everybody's enjoying their holiday. And we're going to have a special guest today, Kristen DiFrancesco. And she won grands at the Natural State Classic. And that's what this is the post show for that event. Point Fighter approved some of the winners. Kali won. Kristen won the Forms Grants and the traditional Forms Grants. And we're going to bring on in a minute. Sport karate is blowing up again. It's blowing up again as we're getting into the summer. It's heating up as well, the sport. There was 4 Point Fighter approved events this past weekend, and all of them were great, amazingly packed as well. So congratulations to everybody that competed out there. If you went to this ProMac event, right, Natural State Classic, let us know how you did as well, okay? Before we bring Kristen on now in a second, Point Fighter Live magazine, we only have about 15 left of these magazines. We are going to order more, all right? But they're going to be for pre-orders for the Battle of Atlanta. So if you're going to the Battle of Atlanta, they'll be sold out by then. Make sure you message me and let me know how many you want, okay? It has the NASCAR ratings on there, the Power Award winners, a lot of great stories. So get yours today. And thanks to everybody for buying one as well and supporting it. Thanks to all our sponsors as well. This one, we sold almost 2,000 already. So it's been, and super fast. So it's been a very good, successful magazine that we put out there. 10 years of Point Fighter Live as well. So thanks for everybody's support over the years. And all right, let's get to it. Let's bring Kristen on. Hey, what's going on, Kristen? Congratulations. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. How are you?
Awesome. Hey, so you won the traditional Forms Grants, right? At the tournament?
Yes. So I won. It was overall 18 plus overall grand champion for kata. Correct.
Awesome. Congratulations. And I believe it was it your first grants that you've gotten?
It was my first in kata, yes.
In kata. Okay. Yes. Also, have you gotten grants before in something else in weapons?
I won in fighting.
Oh, and in fighting too. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. So do you do weapons too?
I do. Well? I don't do them as much as I used to. I do bow. And I do traditional most of the time. Traditional weapons, awesome. Traditional kata.
Awesome. So you're a triple threat right there, right? That's good.
Try to be. It depends on the day.
It depends on the day. But that's really good. I mean, I really am impressed by especially adults that do all 3. Even if it's not on one day, but they do it throughout the year because it's so hard to be good at all of them, right? To compete at a high level.
It is really hard to find that balance, but yeah, I think each aspect of karate and martial arts in general helps the other one. Yes. Being a strong kata competitor can help you in fighting. Being an explosive fighter can help you be explosive in kata. Having good stances in kata can help you in weapons. So I think it all really complements each other. That's the beauty of this sport it really does complement everything.
Yep, you can't say it better than that. That's perfect. Yeah, that's for real. That's 100%. I agree with you. It really complements everything. That's why, sometimes some of my students or people sometimes they just focus only on the sport side of karate, and then that becomes their end all, right? Like you got to be a complete martial artist and just keep there's even stuff in the school that you learn and you keep learning, right? And it does help you with competition as well, right? Sometimes people just get lost into just the sport side of it.
Yeah. I really so I started practicing team this year with Champion Karate Academy in Irving. And what I've really grown to love about it is the bunkai part of the kata, where you have 2 other people that you get to work with. So you really get to see the application. And I'm a thinker. So it really helps me. It helps me teach the kata too, yes, to my students. So it's really awesome.
That no, for sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now going back to the tournament, you've been to this event before. You came back. How do you enjoy this? How do you enjoy this year? You won, of course. I'm pretty sure you liked it even more. Right? But overall,
winning is always nice. But I try and make sure that all the tournaments I do, I come back with a learning experience, whether that's placing or not. And I learned a lot of that this year. I started doing WKF this year, not the international travel yet, but nice. I went to my first Vegas Open for WKF and came back with a silver medal. So wow. It was incredible because the talent there is off the chart. Yeah. So it was very humbling and it wow. really made you work for everything. You had to work for everything. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I mean, you have a slight bobble, a slight toe slip, a slight anything. And it definitely has upped my game because it's making me practice on the little things and not just working on the overall kata, but working on the performing side of it. How I get out, how do I feel when I get out there? Am I actually in the moment when I'm doing the kata? Mm-hmm. So it's all of those mental aspects that I really feel like I've started growing with this year. And I can't say enough about ProMac because it gives me that opportunity to do that. You know, you're with this circuit is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that you know, you're always going to have bias no matter where you go. It's just that's how it is. We're people, right? We're human. Mm-hmm. So, but what I like about ProMac is that they have opportunities for the judges to continue, I guess you could say continue education, but there's constant training, there's constant discussion, there's constant ingenuity and how to better the sport. Yeah. And, you know, you have some circuits where, you know, you express your opinion, but you feel kind of gets lost in translation. I think with ProMac, you may not get the answer you want after expressing your opinion, but it's still heard. You're still heard. And every single person from the beginning judge to all the promoters to Joey and Holly, everybody plays their part. And everybody is heard and everybody's voice is at least acknowledged. And I think to keep this sport growing as it is and to come back from that bias a little bit, that is important, is to have everybody at least, you know, everything's never going to be bipartisan. It's just, you know, you're never going to please everyone. But I think with ProMac, they're finding ways to please as many as possible. And at least if it's not the answer you're looking for, it'll at least come up where maybe they can fix it next time, you know, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. But I really like how they incorporate everybody's opinion, even if it's not something they're exactly set on. But I mean, there's little questionnaires every time we leave a tournament. How can we better? How can we improve? How can, you know, and for the generations that are coming up next to us, I think that's incredibly important.
That's great customer service too. No, and for sure. And you see less issues too in leagues like ProMac that have those certifications all the time. And it's kind of like everybody knows the rules. So there's less issues, right? That have, like, the judges know the rules, the coaches know the rules, even parents know the rules. Like it's really good. It's really good. And that's when everybody knows the rules, there's less mix-ups and less arbitration.
You're not pulling people from the stands to come judge, you know, like, so I really like that. I mean, and it may run slow sometimes, and sometimes we're shorthanded, but I would rather be shorthanded and have people out there knowing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, that's true. They only allowed certified judges to judge too, so that's true. Yeah, that's true. That really makes a big difference for sure. So, it was a great tournament. Everything ran pretty good. You know,
the competitions there. I mean, just the competition in ProMac and in NASCA for general, it's right up there. I mean, you're getting some of the best in the area, some of the best in the United States, and the big ones like, you know, Battle and Americake, some of the best in the world. You know, so
that's true. That's true. No, a lot of champions have started in ProMac too, and then they go off to NASCA. Kind of like that next step. But then the cool thing about it is those champions still compete.
Yes.
Still in Promac. So that's how good of a league it is, right? So
yes.
It's really awesome for sure. Now you're from Texas, right? So how far was it? Did you fly there or did you drive there?
I drove. It was about 6 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's cool. No, yeah, and I know at Promac they started the region there in Texas as well.
They did, so they started one in Texas.
All of them? Have you been to all the regional ones this year?
I haven't been to all of the Texas regionals. They clashed a little bit with my WKF schedule.
Okay.
But Texas has a great sport karate family.
It does.
They are diehard karate people. So I think the region will only get bigger because we've got some sick talent. So it's great. Super exciting.
For real. No, yeah, you have top national competitors coming out of Texas, like a lot of them. Like you guys, if there was like team state versus states, like you guys have, I think somebody, nationally ranked up there, like really good, at least 2 in each division, right? Even just 1. Like that's how the level is up there, out there in Texas with talent for sure. It's really great. So WKF, that's really cool. So you're like competing in WKF tournaments, which is only, traditional and like that. Like it's really hard to win there as well, right? Because it's only traditional, right? And then so it's just one style, not one style, but like they're just it's like sport karate in general, like in Promac and NASCA. It's open to all styles, right? Pretty much. So this is just like WKF only. And then, but it helped you improve in your overall kata, right? Competing at these events as well, right?
Just because they're so meticulous in how they separate all the traditional styles. You have to know your stuff. You have to stay. Consistency is a huge factor with them. So I think that's the training has helped me significantly. Yes.
That's awesome. How about like, let's say you mentioned bias, right? Like sometimes like, and I tell people in NASCA too, you got to break in there, right? The referees got to see, you got to like pay your dues kind of in a way, right? In NASCA. And it also, I think in all leagues, right?
I think it's everywhere. Yes.
Is it like that
everywhere
in WKF too, where they see you more? The judges got to see you more too, and you got to break in there, or not really?
No, it's the same. It's the same way. You have to break in. The tricky part is you probably won't see a lot of the same judges because they are pulled from all over the world.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And so you don't really get that opportunity and unless you are on the USA team to really like be a repeat customer, I guess. But it's the same thing. You definitely have to pay your dues. You have to really work hard. It sometimes feels redundant, because you feel like you're doing the same kata all the time. But it is an endurance test because if you have a division that has 23 people in it, then you can't do the same kata twice. You have to have at least 4 or 5 in your back pocket that you can.
It goes by rounds, right? It goes by rounds too.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, martial arts, it's crazy. The karate universe is so big and like so many different options out there. And like, it's pretty cool that you're doing both two different ones pretty much, but it's all the same at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. But, and I think that's what makes this wonderful is there's no shelf life with karate. It's not like you're a major league pitcher and you're done at 38,
That's true. You're right.
You can do this as long as your body is willing and able. And then you can go past that and be a teacher and a coach. And there's so many different avenues that you can take. There's no like, it's not like you can turn off the switch and be like, I'm not done. I'm not going to do it anymore. You have the ability to take a break and then come back to it later, So I think that's what makes this sport really special. There's no age limits. There's no shelf life. You have,
100%.
people like Sandra Sanchez are in their 40s and they're beasts.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's what I tell people sometimes, even the combat side, right? The point fighting side. It's the only combat sport that you could do from 3 or 4 years old, kind of, right? I seen little kids.
The little ones, yeah.
And I seen this weekend. I saw a 73-year-old competing.
That's
so it's
incredible.
So you can't do that in boxing, MMA, kickboxing, anything, right? You can't. Your shelf life is short in those, right? You could actually do karate as a kid, and then even if you want to go into full contact, right? And then when you're done, you could come right back to it to end this, right? There's divisions for everybody. That's one of the beautiful things I love about sport karate, for sure. You could do it at any age that you pointed out, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're from Irving, Texas, and
I'm from Plano. My school's in Irving. Yeah.
Okay, your school's in Irving, Texas. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then how long have you been training for?
I started karate probably when I was 10 or 11.
Wow. Okay.
I've been an athlete most of my life. I played sports in college, but I got picked on a lot as a kid. So even though I was pretty good athletically, I just didn't have the confidence that I needed or should have had. So that's probably the main reason I got into karate, was to become more confident in myself and whatever that was, whether I stuck with karate or not. I wanted something that I could fall back on that was always going to be there, despite whatever I was going through. And I didn't really actually get into the competition side till later, because I played college softball, so that was my focus.
Wow.
And then when I went to school in college, I went to school in Abilene. I went to Hardin-Simmons. Chip Townsend was my teacher out there, and he was like, you can compete in this. And I was like, really? So when you're an athlete, as long as I've been, anyone will tell you it's just a switch you can't turn off. You have that athletic drive and that competitive all the time, and you just can't turn it off and go do something else. So I was really pretty good at karate. I just wanted to take it to the next level, and Chip was able to show me how to do that and to put me on the right path to do it. And I was already a pretty natural athlete with athletics for sports in college and everything anyway. So I just turned it on. It was one of those, I just completely fell in love with it. And I was like, okay, what can I do to do better? What can I do to get better? What can I do to get better? And, I looked up to people like, Viviana Batado, Sandra Sanchez, Alex Macias, and, like all those wonderful people, Superfoot Wallace, I was like, wow, how did they do this? So those are the people that I was really like, kind of trying to follow and emulate. And so I just took the competitive drive that I have from softball and sports, and I put it all into martial arts. And it's really taken me on a ride I never expected, and I'm just going with it, and I'm trying to enjoy every moment.
That's awesome. No, you can hear the passion you have for it too, as well. It's awesome. That's great. And you've been here all your life too, and you're here. You like boom, you're going. It feels like you're in your prime right now, almost, right? That kind of what it seems like, right? Do you feel like you're in your prime right now, as far as like competition wise in karate?
I would like to hope that I'm going in that direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you are. It looks like competing everywhere and stuff, and like, wow, for real, you won your grants this past weekend. That's amazing for sure. No, that's awesome. That's really good. I like the drive. You have. It looks like when you've done a lot already, like the softball as well. You were in. And before we started the show, you were telling me you were a teacher as well. And then during COVID, you changed profession as well now. So it's like, wow, that's really incredible. So right now, what is it that you do right now?
I am currently a medical assistant in the DFW area. I work for an orthopedic oncologist, but I love it.
That's awesome.
It's wonderful.
That's really good. And you still teach a little bit, right? You still teach, actually not a little bit, every week.
I teach about twice a week. Yes. Yeah. I really like the little ones. They're a lot of fun. They keep me on my toes.
That's cool. You change profession and then careers, but you're still able to teach as well. do karate. So
I don't think I would have been able to if I didn't have karate with me like my whole life, because it does so much more than just self-defense. It teaches you drive and passion and conviction and motivation and self-control, and it really does show you that if you can't, the only one that's going to change your stars is you, and you have to get up and you have to do it. And I don't think there's a lot of other sports that teach that within a sport itself.
No, it's true. It's true. 100%. So what's your next tournament?
My next tournament hopefully will be next weekend in Oklahoma at the Whirlwind Classic, but nice. That one, and then I have USMAT in Daytona. That's Worlds.
Oh yeah, you're going to that? Yeah, I think
am. Yes, I am.
That's gonna be, I think it's in July, is it? Is that in
July?
July?
End of July in Daytona Beach. I'm extremely looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're part of the USA team. That's awesome. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's really exciting. That's awesome. That's really good. Congratulations on everything. It was great to have you on. Thanks for joining me tonight.
You.
Yes. And that's it. It's done. Congratulations again. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. Have a great rest of the day.
Happy Memorial Day to everyone, and thank you for everything that you do, all our service members out there, current and former.
Yes. Thank you. All right, take care. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. We're done.